Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm really excited for a very delicious episode today. I have Kelly Magee, who is the CEO and co-founder of Q39. You know the restaurants, you love them. We get into the backstory of the incredible success, how they came to be, how they are growing immensely right now. And we also get into some very heartfelt discussions about her husband who passed away from colon cancer and what Q39 is doing today to play a part in awareness and support for that. But we get into some fun details about the cuisine, the flavors, everything in between. So I hope you really enjoy our conversation and get excited to get out to Q39. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We were just saying we probably have crossed paths many times through Q39 content creator stuff, you know, different events that are going on, but we've never actually met in person. And so I'm so excited to meet you and honored.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is going to be fun. Okay, so Kelly Magee, tell us who you are and what you are most excited about for Q39 this year. And we have a lot to get into, but let's kind of start there.
Sure. So I am co-founder and CEO of Q39 Restaurants.
Fantastic. So your background goes back to the first restaurant opening in 2014.
That's right.
Yes. That it was. So let's kind of go back. Well, let's do a little background on you. Are you from Kansas City? Let's do a little kind of overview of who you are so people can kind of connect with like your association with Kansas City and KU as well.
Absolutely.
So.
Yes. So I can call myself a native Kansas City person.
Okay.
I graduated here of high school, Shawnee Mission South.
Okay.
And my parents are small town Kansas folks. And so they just loved the Kansas City area. Mm-hmm. And they're still here. And they both went to KU. So, you know, it's such a great place. Yes. So, of course, my brother and I are Jayhawks also. So,
yeah.
And then I lived in St. Louis for a little while, but came back here because it's such a great place to raise a family and have a great quality of life.
And you have a few kids, right?
Yes. I've raised 4 of them. Yes.
4 of them. Yes. And I think, did I see a few of them went to KU as well?
Yes.
They all like a long lineage of KU graduates going on.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So, yes, all 3 of them. One went to Culinary Institute, following in Dad's footsteps.
Yeah.
But the other 3 are all Jayhawks, as well as all my nieces and nephews. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, fantastic. Well, everybody who is either a Lawrence fan, a KU fan, we're going to get into Lawrence opening up here in a few weeks, which is your 3rd or 4th location?
It's our 3rd location.
Okay, because I think you also have Lee Summit. Is that happening as well?
Yes, it's fast on the heels of that one coming up in May.
Okay. Oh, May. All right. Perfect. Oh my gosh. So great. Okay. So let's kind of go back to how Q39 came about. If we want to talk about your husband and how this all began, and tell us kind of the fun backstory as to how the concept came to be. And I know it's long and storied, I'm sure, but would love to hear your take on that.
Well, it's terrific because he graduated from the Culinary Institute in Hyde Park, New York in the mid-'80s. And he had a dream someday to either be a celebrity chef or own his own restaurant.
Okay.
And he would have excelled at either.
Yeah.
But obviously, spoiler alert, we know where that ended up.
Right.
And he chose a hotel career path as a chef and was executive chef and food and beverage directors around different hotel groups in the country. Yeah. And he ended up here in Kansas City.
So he just got an offer to come to Kansas City.
Correct.
So it was just kind of his fate to end up here.
It was his, he just had an offer. And one of his interesting things that he would do wherever he happened to live, he would take up the local pastime or hobby. So for example, he was in North Carolina for a while and he owned a boat and went water skiing 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh my gosh.
And then he was in Denver prior to Kansas City. He sold his boat, purchased motocross motorcycles, and would actually enter like amateur competitions and do that. So he was competitive.
Love it.
And enjoyed region. Yes, completely. So when you move to Kansas City and you're going to take up a local pastime here, barbecuing is probably a good thing to choose.
First thing that comes to mind.
Yes.
Well, when did you guys meet? What is your story of how you came together?
Sure. We met in 2002.
Okay.
And we both, we had previous marriages, but we were both single parents.
Yep.
And just really connected.
Yeah, so met in Kansas City.
Correct.
Okay. And at the time, was it Munchin Hogs? Was that when he got into it?
That's the name. He started before I met his colleagues at the hotel, they said, oh, let's go participate in this thing. It's the Lenexa Great Barbecue Battle.
Okay.
His first contest in 2002.
Okay.
And then we met shortly thereafter, about September-ish.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. And what were you doing at the time?
So I was at Hallmark. I had started my career there. So
yes.
I had worked in business development, strategic planning. I had been a buyer at Dillard's department stores way back in the day.
Good old Dillard's.
Yes.
Grew up with Dillard's.
Yes.
They're still around, but.
Absolutely. Well, it was a fun job. It's kind of getting a little mini MBA because you really have the opportunity to develop how much money you're making. People think it's like a shopping trip. No, it's you need to buy things that are going to sell that you need to turn around and make money on so you can buy more things that sell.
Well, and so obviously you mentioned you're the CEO of Q39, and we were even talking before we started recording about the world of marketing. We've been talking a lot about not only the world today and how much there is to learn and completely adapt to like on the regular, but even going back to when Q39 opened, how important marketing was and what that looked like at the time. But I find this so fascinating of you being like a complete boss babe, like your background, literally. I mean, I want you to talk about that a little bit more because you come in with this wealth of experience and knowledge in the world of, you know, whatever, retail, consumerism, marketing, all of that, which clearly has paved the way for you to take this on. What did that feel for you at the time? And, you know, what did you feel at the time, even, you know, coming from Hallmark? Did you leave Hallmark to then do the restaurant industry?
I did, yes.
Okay.
So I've been in some sort of business development capacity my whole career, whatever I happen to be in. And I really enjoy taking ideas and concepts and making more of them. Yeah. So when Rob said, okay, I'm kind of done with some of my big goals. I'm ready to set my next big goal. It's like, I want to open my own restaurant now. And I said, it's time. Let's do this. Yeah. But it was a great marriage of the two of our skill sets. Yeah. So he really understood the hospitality industry from his hotel background and the financials, and he had his competitive barbecue experience. I must say I was a little with business development background. He says, I'm going to open a barbecue restaurant in Kansas City. I thought, that's not such a great idea.
Because of how many there were?
Exactly.
That's what I was curious about.
Very crowded marketplace. And I said, but you have so many other skills. And he's like, no, I'm going to be innovative and I'm going to do that differently.
Do it different. I'll do it better.
Exactly. So I said, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
And so I wrote the business plan. He had the tactile knowledge of how it would operate as an operation. Yeah. But the business plan is more than that. It's the financing, it's the marketing, it's, you know, the manpower, who's going to run this thing. So we put all that together, and in 2013, and when you sign on the dotted line, it's kind of scary.
Here we
it's
go.
Pretty much your whole life.
Yeah.
And I remember him looking at me and saying, failure is not an option.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you have any idea how many barbecue restaurants were even around at that time? We moved here 10 years ago, which isn't too far off. We moved here at the end of 2015. And I remember hearing at the time we had over 100 barbecue restaurants.
That's probably right.
I was like,
dozens
what?
and dozens
How do you eat
of
at all of them? You know?
You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you make that like a long hobby.
Right.
But there's so many good ones, and they each have their own flair and their own the way they come at delivering that kind of the blending of art and science that is barbecue.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hit on that. What is the biggest differentiator for Q39 from your perspective, especially as time has gone on? I think everybody knows the experience there is incredible. You guys have had incredible success. I told you that our family loves it when our family from out of town comes in. They always have a reservation to eat there because they just love the food so much. So
sure. Thank you so much for asking. So we are chef driven because Rob was a chef, but we have 6 classically trained chefs on our team today. So it's more. Is
that more than normal?
Yes. In most restaurants, we only have 3 locations right now, but we believe in the professionalism, the dedication to quality, and how to make an operation consistently fulfill its culinary purpose, like what they're supposed to deliver every day. So having that level of professionalism really matters. It also helps us have seasonal menus. So we change, we have our foundational barbecue, but we change the salads and the appetizers and the desserts and the fun things around it. And having the chef's knowledge driving that experience is helpful. So that's one element. The other element is our competition championship quality background. Okay. So all of
the Munchin Hogs,
and
beyond,
team.
I'm sure.
Yes. So he spent not a lot of people know this. He spent 6 years in the top 10 teams in the world with the Kansas City BBQ Society.
In the world.
Yes, it's amazing. Well, Kansas City BBQ Society is a very big organization. So that's kind of how they say that. So they have the Team of the Year award, and that's how that came about. And he. But all of the recipes, the techniques, the sauces and things that he developed, that's what we serve today. Still to this day. Still today.
I was going to ask, when you told people that you were opening the restaurant, what did people say? Just being in the capital, the barbecue capital. And then how were those early months or years for Q39
Sure.
on 39th Street?
Well, so the couple things, I think a lot of people are like, good luck.
I figured as
everybody
much.
knows how hard the restaurant business is.
Yeah.
But to circle back to one of the things that he did that's pretty innovative, and he kind of shared this with his friends. He took this barbecue thing because it takes a long time. If you run out of something, it's a few hours before you're going to have it again.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that he really perfected and shared with everyone was, I'm going to have that fresh carved, straight from the pit experience, no microwaves on the premise, so that when people come in, they're getting that experience kind of like the competition. That was like what I serve my judges when we would turn it in.
Yeah.
So that, never anything other than that. So that was really kind of the big special thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's everybody's like, okay, we're in, but that's still hard to predict.
Yeah.
So he had to really fine tune. If we have this many reservations and it's a Monday or it's a Saturday, how do we adjust how much we cook accordingly?
Was the interest immediate with Q39? What did that look like?
That is a great question. I think, yes, I have to say it was it surprised me because when people have their go-tos, particularly here, we all have our favorites.
Right. Or maybe something that just happens to be in your neck of the woods, your neighborhood that you might go to.
So changing behavior is hard. People have, again, their go-tos. So it was faster than I anticipated. So we paid off our business loan in less than 18 months, which really shocked us.
Yeah.
So it was a relief.
Yeah.
And then we started saying, well, maybe we should open another one.
Which ended up being Overland Park.
Correct.
And how many years later did that come?
That was in 2017, so 3 years later.
So not many years later. Okay.
Not many.
Yeah,
no.
which is our go-to. Obviously, Q39, the name came because of it being on 39th Street.
Correct.
Okay, I'm not missing any obvious. Yeah.
There's no big secrets.
Yeah.
It's Q is short for barbecue.
Yeah.
And 39 short for 39th Street. Naming was probably one of the hardest things. Most
I can
contentious
imagine.
things.
I mean, I only have my own Kansas City bucket list, name, which has its own backstory. But yeah, for a restaurant, I mean, I imagine that's a huge decision when you're trying to think about branding and it, coming back to mind for people. But I think it's landed, obviously.
Right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It does stick out because it's a little different.
Yeah, it does. So let's talk about Rob.
Sure.
Do you feel like he just had like this superpower to learn a new skill? Like you said, he was going to city and trying something new, and then he comes to Kansas City and he decides to throw himself into barbecue. Do you feel like obviously he was in the restaurant world, but not knowing anything about, competitions with barbecue.
Sure.
Is it something that you feel like he had like an innate ability to understand what people would love, or how do you
it
perceive
took him a few years to get it right, honestly. I think he knew how to cook from his culinary background, of course. I think Rob's superpower was he would set a ginormous goal and he'd put it out there, and he wouldn't quit until he made it. I mean, his dedication, and he was relentless.
Competitive spirit a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it just shocked me every time he would put out a big goal. We have a few of them that we joke about, but when he told me he was going to be the best team in the barbecue circuit, I was like, okay.
Go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it took him 4 years until 2006 before he won his first large grand championship.
Okay.
Just a single grand championship.
Yeah.
So 4 years. So but again,
dedication at its finest.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure he clearly had such a yearning to like perfect his craft.
Absolutely.
To some degree, and
Absolutely.
obviously has
And it was
an incredible
fun.
legacy.
It was so fun. He loved doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. How does it feel to be, are you one of the few female women in leadership with barbecue, the world of barbecue around here? Or what does that feel like?
I'm not sure if I don't think there's another fully female-owned barbecue restaurant. So I never really thought about it very much for a while. Mm-hmm. And just the last couple of years, I'm kind of realized that, hey, that is a little different, and it is unique.
Yeah. Going back to the awards. So those are they in all of the restaurants? I'm thinking of Overland Park right now. I'm like imagining a lot of the trophies and everything. Are those in Midtown too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think the biggest ones are in Midtown, like the Team of the Year awards, the best of the best. Those are in Midtown right now.
Okay.
And we had so many that we still have plenty to put in Lawrence. So
do you really?
Yes.
That's kind of where I was getting at. I'm like, how many are there out there?
So we're still trying now to figure out, okay, do we want to keep the same contest together at each location? Do we want to spread them out? It's kind of a silly problem, but we're looking at like, how do we do that? And if we continue to grow, do we make duplicates of them and then put original is located here or something.
Yeah. Well, I love that. That's perfect to show the background. Do you guys still compete? Is that, I don't know the world of barbecue and all that. Is that still a thing?
Great question.
Or do the Munchin Hogs still exist?
No, the team does not exist anymore. No, we don't compete. He did compete at the Royal in 2014 after we had opened.
Okay.
And he said, my heart's just not here anymore. My heart's back at that restaurant. But we do support Kansas City Barbecue Society. So we full on when they have their judges class, so you can become a certified judge to go to these contests, and every contest has to have so many certified judges at it.
Makes sense.
So we provide the meat. So we show up and we cook and provide the meat for the judges to judge.
Okay. Got it. I love it. Okay, so let's get into Lawrence.
Yes.
The expansion into Lawrence. How exciting is that? How long has that been in the works? Where is it going to be? What are you guys going to do? And then let's also talk about what FIFA is going to look like for you guys and if you have any plans in the works. Because FIFA is making its way, weaving into every conversation, and I would love to know what you guys are expecting for that too.
Absolutely. So gosh, Lawrence, I believe the idea was first kind of pitched to me from a property developer like in 2022 to 23, and I think I committed in 23 and closed on the property. Everything's kind of fuzzy. I think 23, 24-ish.
Couple years in the works, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when the developer decided they were not going to move forward with that property, I said, I still want to. I still want, this could really work.
Yeah.
I felt there was a gap of a place that size for people to gather in downtown Lawrence. And so I thought, let's try this and let's bring something that already has a brand that'll at least draw. So we're not on Mass Street, but we're just off of Mass Street. And you can walk down from Mass right to one of our doors.
Are you east of Mass Street?
Correct.
Right.
On New Hampshire.
There's a lot of expansion. We're both KU grads.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of expansion east of Mass Street, right?
It's amazing.
So that's like a prime place to be.
Yes, it's amazing. Lots of folks are doing some terrific things there from hotels, most especially. And there's a Oregon Reuters building that's being redeveloped and all of that. So we just made the commitment and bought the property and said, let's do this. And so it's been a year and a half. We kind of slowed down for a little bit trying to decide where we're going to put all our eggs because Lee Summit was also coming up. And Lee Summit, Rob actually had picked out that location.
Okay.
So before he'd even
that's
passed.
been in the works.
Yes. So, but Lawrence, it's getting close. We had to work with the city on the architecture because it is in a historic area. The front of it's pretty modern, but inside it feels like it's been there for a while.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we were trying to do. It's hard because you want to blend in, and I understand cities and community and the planning. You want to blend in and be. I think it's called contextual architecture, where it fits the area. Yeah. But at the same time, you need to be able to stand out so people can see you. So,
yeah, no doubt. And you have your style, your brand, and everything that you'd want to adhere to as well. Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
Yeah. Was Lawrence tugging at your heartstrings because you're a KU grad? Was Lawrence coming to you, calling for Q39 to come to Lawrence? How does that play out?
Definitely tugging at my heartstrings, but not just because of being a KU grad. So my parents were born and raised in small towns in Kansas.
Yeah.
They met at the University of Kansas, and they're both Jayhawks.
Yep.
And so it was when I went to KU, I really enjoyed spending time on Mass Street, and I really enjoyed the community. So being down there and locally owned, almost mom and pop shops that, I just really appreciated that vibe.
Yes, so much
I even went down the path of, so my little entrepreneur spirit was kind of alive and well even then.
Yeah.
And there was some girls who were graduating. They had a little popcorn gift shop, snack shop.
Okay.
And it was just east, ironically, of Mass, but you could right next to it.
Yeah.
And I thought, hey, maybe I could buy this from them and run it. And that sounds so fun. And
back in the day, this is what you were thinking?
Yes.
Okay.
And my dad was like, whoa, slow
that's
down.
aggressive.
Yes. He said, let's look at the numbers. Let's look at this. And he really was very, he didn't tell me no.
Yeah.
But he was like, let's really think about this, if this is the right choice for you at this time. And he was right. It wasn't. But it was like, I just had that pull.
It's been innate in you to be doing something, and it's kind of a full circle moment.
It is, especially since I was a server at Buffalo Bob's Smokehouse back in the day, in the 1980s.
Another sign that it was meant to be in your future.
My first barbecue job.
Yeah, I love it.
Hospitality job, and it came full circle.
What did your parents do?
So my mom, she actually was, my father was a retired military officer in the Navy.
Okay.
And so my mom ended up kind of taking different jobs as administrative assistants, executive assistants, wherever we happened to live. She was great at organizing and kind of keeping things on the rails.
Yeah. But you didn't move around from your father's job? Or
I did when I was little.
Oh, you
when
did?
we
Okay.
were little, yes. Lived all over the country, including Alaska and Hawaii and Washington, D.C.
Oh my gosh, so you have a whole other background that we could get into.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
But I think that when we moved back to Kansas City, I think my dad intentionally said, I want my family to feel like they're from Kansas. And so that's why he brought us here.
I love it. Okay, so let's go back to the restaurant. I had a question really more for myself. I wanted to know, what exactly does chef-driven mean and open scratch? Obviously, I know what they mean. But I wanted to get into it because I feel like I read those terms a lot, and I just wanted to be educated a bit more on like what is chef-driven at Q39 versus another restaurant that doesn't have a chef-driven philosophy or kitchen.
Right. Well, I think first of all, they have to have the training and the professional background in school. There's an associate's degree in culinary, and people can go on to 4-year degrees in hospitality as well that manage customer service based, the front of the house, or hospitality from a hotel base.
Okay.
But it's that culinary classic training is the proper term for that. But more importantly, it is the approach and philosophy that there are so many that we make everything on site at our restaurant. So we don't open cans of beans. We don't buy potato salad. We buy potatoes. So that's kind of our thing we say right now.
Yes.
So there's so many things in the food industry now. And we have big companies, and Cisco's is our food partner with us, but they offer so many things that are really good, that are kind of ready-made, that busy restaurants that don't have that capacity or big enough kitchen or the team to produce all of that, you can get some really good stuff. But we've chosen, nope, we're going to stay unique, stay ourselves, and we're going to, our flavors, profiles for each of our things are slightly unique.
Okay, got it. You mentioned too that you have seasonal menus.
Yes.
How often do you change the menus, and how does your team go about figuring out what to keep, what to remove, what to add? What does that look like?
Right. That's a great question. It seems like it'd be lots of fun, but it can be
It does seem like it would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
But it can be kind of stressful.
I bet.
So we change it twice a year. And that is, again, part of the chef-driven component is being able to change that menu and bring in new ideas, new flavors, and evaluate what's working and what would work well with what we already do well. So we maintain the foundational barbecue element. We switch up things seasonally. So like poutine is really a winter dish. And yes, we have people who ask for it in July. I know.
It does go away. So that's
yes.
Okay.
So we take it off in the summer and we bring on our nachos, which are also really, really amazing.
Yeah,
so
can't go wrong with that.
We just kind of, it's a similar kind of a shareable dish.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of flip it out, just again, to keep things fresh.
Yeah.
But the salads, they can have more of a winter flair to them, or a little, with the vegetables that we put with them, or the way we dress it,
Maybe
or
like
it can
a
have more
butternut
summer.
squash or
Exactly.
something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we just bringing that in, and it's fun, and it keeps. We're always exploring new flavors, and there's always new ways you can combine barbecue with some of these other foods.
Do you guys get tempted to fall into trying something completely like outlandish, or does that get a little too risky to veer from?
It depends what you mean by outlandish. So some of the things we've done and Rob brought some of this stuff in. We did. They look like cake pops on a stick, but they were like corn dogs, is what we called them.
Oh, okay.
But we had brisket, or their burnt ends, and sausage, and we battered them in-house and fried them and served them, and we served it. They were so delicious.
I did not try these.
So
Are they going to come back?
Way back? I don't know. We'll have to see.
You'll have to text me if they do, so I can come in.
You bet. They're one of my favorite, like, unique things.
Yeah.
Chef Pat, who's with us now, he took bread pudding is a big thing in restaurant desserts right now. It seems to be really rising in popularity. It's very comforting, I think.
I love bread pudding, so tell me more.
So we do one that looks like burnt ends. So we take bread pudding bites and we deep fry them. And we serve them in a dish with a caramel sauce drizzled on top of it. And
I did see a video or a picture of these, and oh my gosh, I've got to get.
They're delicious.
To
me, it tastes like almost like, the kids have the French toast sticks.
Oh yeah,
these are just even better.
Okay, so on that point, let's talk about kids, right? Because I want to talk about the people that come to the restaurant. So I had mentioned to you when I was doing my homework to have you in. was so excited to have Q39 in and to have you here at the helm to talk about it and the story behind it. And when I was researching it, our daughters are 8 and 11, and they came into my office, and I was like, guess who I'm researching for the podcast tomorrow? And they said, who? And I said, Kelly, she is the co-founder at Q39. And they were like, what? You know, it's just like immediate drooling. But I want to talk about, how do you guys approach that? Because I think you had said before we started recording that there is this whole, you know, I think behavior where kids can drive where the decision is to eat out.
Sure.
And I'm sure you guys you see so many families come in. Like, what does that make you feel like? What does that look like for kids? How do you guys think about that? Because, by the way, that mac and cheese that you also have, which we order every single time, and our girls get it with brisket. I remember going to the Overland Park location one time, and I'm so obsessed with the mac and cheese. I was asking one of the servers, and he didn't give away probably whatever the secret recipe is. But I remember him saying something like there were like 7 cheeses that went into it. And I was like, what?
Well, there's 4.
Okay.
Not quite that many. But yeah, we grate the cheese, melt it down, and we make the sauce. And then we cook the pasta. It's a little al dente. And then we finish it off and put the sauce with it. So we bring it together and then serve it. So it makes it really fresh and delicious.
And it lands every single time. Like, every time we get it, it's just like creamy and the best. So I think you guys hands down have one of the best mac and cheese dishes in the city.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah. So with kids, do you feel that way, where you have a lot of kids that just kind of crave the Q39 experience based on what you see or hear?
It surprised me. So our kids were still at home when we opened, and some of our friends would bring their kids in and then didn't realize they wanted to keep coming in. And it, you know, when you do your business plan, you're doing your market segmentation and demographics, and didn't even think about it. Did not even think about it. And then we have friends. Yeah, my son, when it's his birthday, he wants to go to Q39 every time.
Yeah.
So we love that. It's an approachable food.
Yeah.
You can have really good food that's chef driven, that's still approachable and enjoyable, even by youngsters.
And not at a price point that's like crazy expensive to have a chef driven experience for children that are, you know, under the age of 10 or 12. So I had read that you also have many people come in internationally. Is that right?
Yeah. So
let's talk about FIFA, and if you guys are doing something to maybe, I mean, people are obviously going to come into Q39. You're going to be one of the first places that they're going to, you know, find to come while they're here. But how do you feel about that?
Well, I think the travel segment was another demographic that we just didn't even consider when we were putting our plans together, and it has. Sometimes it's more than half of our customers are from out of town. Wow. So it has really blown us away how we've almost eased into the attraction world as opposed to a restaurant, because barbecue in Kansas City is on everybody's top thing to do when they come. Mm-hmm. So we started planning, honestly, having talks last August, like how are we going to manage that? So if you Google barbecue restaurant Kansas City, and we're arguably in the top 5, I'd say top 3 or more spots, how are we going to handle the business? How are we going to handle the traffic? Being a full service restaurant, you can't just push them through.
Right.
And a lot of these international travelers, they like to sit a little bit longer. So we were trying to plan, hey, do we need to message up front on a reservation that this is how long it is without seeming unhospitable?
What would you say by that?
I would say for a group of 4, it's probably an hour to hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But that's what we're used to. They're probably used to 2 hours. So it's just how do we guide that experience for them without them feeling rushed?
Such an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. What do you plan on doing? You're like, we're figuring that out.
We are, and I think it's teaching our team to, again, be kind about it and set the expectation up front. We will probably be super busy, so it won't be a surprise to them that there's a line of people trying to come in.
Yeah,
we've rented tents to put outside.
That's smart.
In some secure areas so that people can wait and enjoy a beverage and appetizer perhaps, and then that way it's again helping the experience just be more comfortable.
Yeah. So this might be a dumb question, but how do you know that half of your patrons are from out of town? Is that like a zip code thing? Or?
A little bit. There's so many cool data. Again, the world's
like I haven't worked on that
rapidly.
Side of anything. So
there are different services out there that can kind of they have tracking mechanisms, and when you have something always on, and it's a little Big Brotherish, kind of
To
scary
some degree,
sometimes.
yeah, I bet.
But it's more in a big data sense. It's not you specifically.
Yeah.
We're just getting trends, and so we've asked how many people are here on an annual basis that are from more than 100 miles away.
Got
and
it.
that's where those percentages start jumping up. And I think
Okay.
it's from people, though, also, like you mentioned, your out-of-town family. So it's often our local loyal customers then bringing people into.
That makes complete sense. Is Kansas City actually known as the barbecue capital, or is that just something that we say? Is that like what is the sentiment with that?
Sure, those are fighting words
I
for a lot of
know.
people, right?
I know.
So I think Texas thinks they're the barbecue state.
Oh, state.
And,
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and we'll let them have that. But we're the barbecue capital of the world, and I have a few reasons for that. We are where Kansas City Barbecue Society started. They started back in 1985. They are a worldwide organization. They have over 14,000 members, and they host 300 contests a year around the world.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we also have the World Museum of Barbecue.
Yes.
So
yes,
that's
I've
the
been
only
over at
one
Crown
there.
Center.
Yes, with Jonathan and Alex.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he made it onto what was it? It was like a U.S. News and World or Travel and Leisure, something like that. It's
Yes.
one of the top 10
Yes.
places to visit, right?
So it's really cool, and it's very, very informative. If you come and you have no idea, so a lot of people think barbecuing is on my Weber grill out back. No, that's grilling. So
Simply grilling.
We have
Yeah.
a very distinct thing here, and so the smoking of the meats and what that really is. It's a great place to go because you get a very good education. It's about the woods and the different smokers you can use, and the different kinds of meats, and then the different sauces, and then like the four to key areas that have been the incubators for what is barbecue today.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so going back to the food. So how many different types of meats are your chefs working with that we can get at
boy.
Q39?
I hope I can remember them all.
Okay.
So there are 4 primary meats
Okay.
that in the Master Series on the barbecue circuit, you have to serve brisket,
Okay.
pulled pork, ribs, and chicken.
Okay.
Those are the foundational ones.
Got it.
But you can smoke anything. So we
Yeah.
do a house-made chipotle sausage that we smoke. We do pork belly. We actually do shrimp on the grill. We don't smoke that, but it's bacon wrapped and grilled.
Okay.
So we also have a
love
wood-fired
that.
grill, which adds so much flavor to things. It just adds. We do our own house-made burgers.
Okay.
And we put
Yep.
those on the grill. So
Is it like a brisket burger, or is that something
it is.
different?
It's part
Okay.
brisket and, oh Lord, I want to say sirloin, but my chef will correct me if I'm
Sure.
wrong.
Yeah.
But it's a
We can
mix.
fact check.
Yes, no, but it totally mixes that together and creates this. And we make that fresh in house, so it's also so delicious.
Back to everything that differentiator that you have.
Yes, yes.
When did burnt ends become a thing? Is that a Kansas City thing?
It's a Kansas City
confirm.
thing. I think Arthur Bryanson Gates really kind of made
Okay.
that a thing, and they would put it up on like the scraps after they slice the
Yeah.
brisket, and that's how. And they're a little bit fattier. That it's the point on a brisket,
Yep.
and so it can get a little char to it. So I think that's kind of what they aren't
Yeah.
literally burnt. Like people coming in think that doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
Even this is such a funny little thing, but in a lot of the AI and the reviews, if you use the word burnt, they think it's a negative connotation.
Oh, yeah.
So when we're getting
Of course.
reviews, they're like, oh, you had a negative thing this many times. We're like, it's just the word burnt ends.
No, this is getting completely misconstrued.
Isn't
yeah.
that funny?
Yeah.
But it made that the negative, but it's not.
Yeah.
So I think that they did that. So we take the point and once the whole brisket is smoked together, both the point and the flat,
Yeah.
we finish it off on the grill and then we cube it and serve
Yeah.
it. So it's pretty delicious.
Well, and back to everything being, what did you call it? Pit to plate?
Correct.
Okay, got it right. So we love burnt ends and we get them when we go. But I know even at times we have to ask like, oh, could we get kind of a starter plate of the burnt ends? And it depends, right?
Yes,
If
yes.
they're available.
Well, they're
Which
very high in
speaks
demand.
to the point. Oh, I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and there's only so much we have. So
Yeah.
you can only smoke, about 80 briskets a day. And we use
Okay.
burnt ends. The premier experience is to have the brisket plate, which you get the sliced flat and then you get the cubed burnt ends.
Okay.
And that really is the best, I think, brisket beef experience.
Yep.
So that's the most important. Then one of our signature sandwiches is the Mr. Burns, and it is sliced
Burns.
burnt ends.
Yeah.
And it has a little bit of chipotle sauce on it and a pepper jack cheese, so it has a little heat to it.
So good.
Hence the name.
Yep.
And it came about as kind of the servers started selling it, and then we just put it on the menu because everybody
One of those
loved
things
it.
that was kind of accidental, or
Yes,
see how it goes.
yes.
Yeah. And then when it comes to the sauces, how many sauces do you guys have?
Sure.
Is different about the Q39 sauces that complement what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. So there's a whole story behind the sauces.
Okay.
So when Rob was on the competition circuit, I told you it took him 4 years. It was 2006 before 2007, he really started winning, and that's when he dialed in his sauce.
Okay.
And we called it the '07 sauce because of 2007 forever. And that was the first year he also went to the Jack Daniel's World Invitational, and their little brand thing is Old Number 7. Like there's a lot of
on the bottle.
So we lovingly have called it that forever, but we felt that was a little hard to explain, so we just called it the classic sauce.
Yeah,
and that's our classic sauce that we still use today.
Okay.
The zesty sauce has a little bit of vinegar base, so it has a little more pop and tang to it.
Okay.
And that won an American Royal Best Sauce Vinegar Based Sauce Award, first place.
Love it.
And then we took a honey glaze. It's a little bit of similar to the classic, but it has a much more honey base to it, and a little sweeter. And it goes on our ribs and a few other dishes, so we don't use it as much. And then the chipotle is our classic sauce, but we add some chipotle to it and give it a kick.
I love chipotle.
So those are our four.
Yeah. What do you eat when you go to Q39?
Such a good question.
And how often are you eating at Q39 as the CEO?
Well, 3 or 4 times a week, right?
I bet. Lucky you.
Easily.
Yeah.
So any of my team members would say, oh, she gets the pork belly tacos. And I do every time.
Are those always on the menu?
They're always on the menu.
Because I had tacos there one time. I remember, I feel like they went away for a short period of time because I was like, where are the tacos? I love tacos. So, yeah. Okay,
so
good to know.
We use Yoli tortillas.
Yes.
And shout out to them.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're delicious. We use a flour corn combination, Sonoran style.
Yeah.
And they're just delicious. And so then we take that pork belly and it's seared on the grill a little bit with that. And we have a jalapeno coleslaw and a barbecue aioli that's put with it. And it is.
Oh my gosh.
And you get 2 of those. And I like it because then I'm not food coma feeling
Yeah.
I eat.
I bet.
It's so easy to enjoy the food. Like I love the mac and cheese, but then I need a nap after.
I know it is. It's like it's very heavy, but you are so satisfied after eating it too.
Right? So
yeah,
the mac and cheese, I have a funny story too. It was just a side dish for a long time. It wasn't like treated as an entree. And so I would order it, and I would order just some meat with it. That was like my thing for the longest time. And finally it was like, hey, why don't we just put that on the menu?
So that was the inspiration. That's the origin of that coming on. Yeah. Well, it's brilliant. It's so good. You also have a very popular cocktail we should talk about, right? The smoked old fashioned.
Yes.
So how to do smoked, right? To pull that through.
So we smoke the honey that's used to flavor that. So
okay.
it's called a smoked honey old fashioned.
Smoked honey old fashioned.
Yes,
Okay, got it.
And that was one of Rob's favorite drinks.
Yeah.
And so it is probably one of our signature cocktail.
Yeah.
So that everybody.
My husband gets it all the time.
And I'm not even a big bourbon whiskey fan, and I like it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a good one. What other cocktails do you guys are pretty popular, or drinks? I would imagine a lot of people too love to come in and have like barbecue and beer too. It's probably a huge experience.
That's the most common thing. I think it's just that goes in our brains. That's what we think. We have several cocktails. One that's I think is great, especially as we're coming up into the spring, is that we have a peach tea cocktail, which is pretty yummy.
Yep.
We have the basil lemonade kind of a thing, and it is delicious.
More of like the refresher kind of cocktail. Yeah.
So, and again, we just changed a bunch of them, and so we are continuously that's part of it as well.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Rob.
Yes.
So he passed away in what year was it?
2021.
And he had a 5-year battle with colorectal cancer. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about him and his legacy and what you guys have been doing to honor his legacy? I know you guys are super philanthropic, but I want to hear, everything you want to say about him and what he built for Casey with you by his side.
Yes. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
So he was a larger-than-life personality, and so he was diagnosed in 2016 before we even opened Overland Park.
Okay.
And our first my first thought was, oh, we've got this. I mean, I remember Katie Couric's husband having this and he passed, but we've learned so much since then. You know, no big deal. We've got this.
Yeah.
Little did I know that it was late stage 3 and that the survival rates for that are like less than 10%. So right about 10%. And it was just, I didn't know that at the time. And the doctors didn't really share a lot of that. And Rob's personality kind of was a driving force in his treatment and his outlook on how he managed and navigated all of his treatments. And so he full on still and made sure, and he's like, you know, I'm not going to let this dictate the trajectory of my life.
That doesn't surprise me based on what you've told me about his drive and character.
So he said, let's keep going. So he finished his first round of treatments and we opened Overland Park. Okay. And it was full steam ahead for a long time. Mm-hmm. And so then when he did pass, I think a lot of people were surprised because I really had I did a lot at the restaurant. And I mean, I've done most jobs at the restaurant too. You know, when you're opening up, you roll up your sleeves. I've been dishwasher. I've been on the line doing pantry. I've done, serving and hosting. I love that. And all of that.
Fantastic to hear. Yeah.
Catering, all of it. But I was around constantly doing, helping with payroll and accounts payable, HR, and the marketing and all the technology. So I was the administration part of the business that really helped him stay focused on the operation. Yeah. So I think a lot of people didn't realize that when he passed, they were like, oh, well, what's Kelly going to do? And Rob also, we worked so hard and that he was like, I don't want you to have to work hard anymore. So he positioned an exit strategy for me. And when it came time to make that decision, I couldn't do it. Yeah. It just didn't feel right.
You were too connected, too passionate about the brand.
It's like his passion wasn't just his. Yeah. I was passionate about the business as well. Yeah. And I especially passionate about our team and everybody, because it is a big business and it takes everyone to make that succeed. And we have people today who've been with him with Rob for over 20 years. Oh my gosh. And working and on barbecue teams with him and stuff that are still with us. I couldn't imagine handing that off to somebody else and walking away. It was just felt wrong. Yeah. So, and I had the energy and I was like, I'll kind of get myself together and it re-energized me.
I was going to say, how has it been? I'm sure you look back now a few years ago, and you've evolved probably since then in whatever ways. But what did that feel like at first? Was it daunting or did it feel very natural?
It is daunting. Well, it is a little daunting at first because he very much was the face of Q39. Sure. And so it felt a little hard stepping into that role. It felt like it wasn't quite mine to do that. Yeah. So I had to get kind of over that and be willing to continue again his passion, share that we're not doing anything different. We're just going to double down and keep doing this. Yeah. So there was that. I think the idea for me, I had some strong thoughts that I don't want to be just the best restaurant, which Rob put that out there, by the way. He was like, I want to be the best restaurant in Kansas City.
Just the best overall.
One of those goals, right? And I said, I want to be the best restaurant to work for. Okay. So to me, investment in our team and our people, and we try to continuously provide things that are meaningful for them and supportive for them. Our COO that we have now, he has a fantastic saying. He said, and we believe this wholeheartedly, is the experience of our guests will not exceed that of our own team members.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I think that really crystallizes that vision. Yeah. So the other part was I want to give back to the community. So we are already involved in some things, but really supporting our community that did so much to support us. Right. So found ways to do that. And then again, honoring him and combining that community thing is what's coming up right now. March is National Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Yeah.
My circle of family and friends, we too have lost several people to colon cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At a very young age, like 30s, which is crazy. And so, and actually, I've got somebody coming into the podcast in a few weeks that's going to talk about his experience with colon cancer. And as we all know, I think anyone who's maybe been touched by it, it has exponentially grown in how many people are being diagnosed. And, I'm not sure everything that they found. In fact, I really want to get on an oncologist. I want to have more, whether it's KU Med, I want to have professionals come on and talk about, just the different things going on with cancers and obviously breast cancer, all kinds of things. I want people to talk about what they're learning and what we can be doing, to kind of take care of ourselves.
Completely.
What were some of the symptoms that he had, I guess maybe for others to be aware of?
Well, I think it's scary. And I'm going to touch on a couple things.
Yeah.
It is growing in younger population.
Yeah.
So it is the number one leading cause for men under 50 of cancer death.
So scary and sad.
So
yeah.
it is the number 2 leading cause of cancer deaths anywhere of any population, and it is rapidly increasing. So the recommended screening age now is 45.
Yeah,
and but it can happen without any symptoms. So the most important thing is if you're having anything, I think there's blood in the stool. There's all these things that it's like not fun to talk about.
Not fun to talk about. But I do want this to be a very open conversation for people to learn from.
Well, and
how to get connected with people
so
here
it's
too.
the number 2 leading cause of cancer death, and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
That's not helpful, right?
Right.
So I think there's lots of symptoms. There's lots of helpful sites out there. Colon Cancer Coalition is who we partner with here in Kansas City. They are a national organization. They do a lot for screening and getting access, and also a lot of they partner with a lot of research folks.
Okay.
I think it's super important that if people have any. Like a lot of times young people, it's like irritable bowel syndrome, or they think it's something else.
Yeah.
That may be true, but get screened just in case.
Absolutely. Well, my husband, he actually started getting screened for it. I'm pretty sure maybe like in his 30s because of something on his family side. I can't even keep track of all of it now.
If you have family history, just that alone can be a reason to start getting screened.
Yep. Yeah.
So it highly encouraged that because if caught early, you have a 90% chance of survival rate. It flips the table.
Yeah.
So it's that crazy. And I think just the awareness of, and there's so many other ways to get screened these days. I still recommend going in and getting the actual,
the full thing.
Yes.
Because you can do like the mail-in
Yes.
type
And those are
things.
getting really good. And if that's all you're willing to do at least do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The organization that you mentioned that you guys, how do you work with them? Is it proceeds? Is it awareness? Is it events? What do you guys do?
Well, it's an event. So we help sponsor this event, and it is called Get Your Rear in Gear.
Love it. Oh yeah, I think I saw some T-shirts on social media for that. Yeah.
Yes, and it's coming up in April, and we just to raise awareness. It's to honor. We also honor survivors and people who are even battling it now, and it's just really to raise awareness because it's kind of this quiet thing that but it's really significant.
I know, which is crazy because to me, I feel like it's become louder and louder. But I think you're right; it's still too quiet. So many things that are out there.
Yes.
So that event is here.
Yes, it's here.
In
They
March?
have several. Yes.
Okay.
And we it be hosted out of the corporate woods. It's a 3-mile walk.
Oh, okay.
/run. It's a timed run, so people who are doing things for their running things.
So people can find that online to register, and pretty much anyone. Well, I don't know. Is there like a max or capacity or anything?
No, we will grow to the size of people's ability to join us.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then how do you feel? How does Rob make his way into you working with Q39 today? Where do you want to take it? How does that look for you?
Sure. So I think I talked about culture and community, those two things. I think the next thing was deciding I want to grow it. I want to continue because he was looking at a third spot.
Yeah.
So to do that, though, we were already, a lot of people, it's just 2 restaurants. Well, we had over 100 employees per restaurant, and that's big.
Yeah.
And so the idea of growing it to yet a third location with we needed some structure underneath it. So the first we hired was an HR director in 2021.
Okay.
And started building that in our team's capacity, minimizing turnover and making it, again, a good place to work.
Yeah.
But we have just continued to grow from there. So we have an executive chef director of culinary.
Okay.
We have a COO. We have now, under our HR director, we have a training manager and a recruiting manager. And we have director of brand.
Service.
Yes. So we have a full, we call it support office because the corporate office sounds we're more involved
stuffy,
and we're there to support our operations. But yes, we built that out in the last 2-3 years, and so now we're ready, and we can open these new restaurants fully prepared to manage our guests.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Have you thought about expanding beyond KC, Kansas, Missouri?
Maybe. We get requests all the time.
I bet you do.
We get requests all the time, and I think there might be room for that. Providing that memorable dining experience, anywhere is always an option, and it's making sure we have people who continue to carry that barbecue knowledge and provide that particular cuisine with the exceptional hospitality experience as well.
I was just going to say, I'd love to hear a little bit more. Genuinely, every time that we go, it's very efficient. It's very professional. It's very clean. Everyone's so kind. So I'm sure you've got a whole thing going on behind the scenes in terms of how you train people who are patron facing, right? Because it seems so just consistent and leaves you feeling like every time we go, there's never an issue. At least that's been my experience.
Good.
So props to
I'm
your
glad
team.
to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we do have a really amazing team. We have a lot of veteran servers who've been with us for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I think we even want to make it even better than that. We want to more connections and like a little more friendly even, because sometimes we're so busy, it's easy to fall into the
I can imagine. Sure.
It slides into transactional because, again, we're busy. So they might be efficient, but we also want you to feel a little more connected to them and them to you.
Okay.
So we're actually coaching to that now.
Oh, interesting. Okay, great. And do people come to you looking for like mentorship? Not you, but I mean, maybe the chefs and the whole team, but like mentorship specifically in the world of getting into smoking or grilling or whatever. What does that look like for people who are like, I really want to get into that world? How do they go about that?
Sure. Well, I am not as familiar with that these days because I'm not as close to the chefs, but they do get a lot of requests, and we do hire people who are interested. So it's not just someone who wants to be a cook or a chef. We have to hire someone who is interested in actually dealing with these major proteins. When you cook 80 briskets a day, you gotta really enjoy that. And so we're looking for people who enjoy that smoking experience. And yes, we do get a lot, but it is a commitment.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. How do you think the Kansas City food scene maybe evolved after Q39 came about? Do you have any opinions on that?
Well, I mentioned obviously earlier that it's a crowded barbecue market. And I think most restaurants fall into either craft smaller place or the bigger places. And I think when you have anybody new that decides to be innovative and do things a little differently, I think it gives them all a chance to step up their game and evaluate what they're doing and how they can continue to be better too.
Makes sense. Yeah. And then also, don't you work with a few other, I had to look at my notes here. You work with a few other partners here, right? Let's see. Your pillars include food insecurity, youth development, mental health and wellness, and colon cancer awareness. Are there other organizations you want to shout out that you guys have worked with, whether on maybe like the proceeds or event side or even like food collaborations that you guys have done?
We have several. So Ronald McDonald House we've done for almost since the beginning.
Okay.
And it's a Trent Green Golf Classic that they have every June. And we provide all of the food for that luncheon and love doing that and supporting that. We had initially looked at children's health and kind of children's mercy, and that has migrated into youth development and mental health on those two things. And we just partner with a myriad of organizations. One of our campaigns is to just say yes. And so when somebody needs something like, can we get a gift card for this or something for that? And we've standardized it. So
kind of have to, I would imagine, especially with the outreach that you probably get.
So instead of trying to just respond to each request, our goal is to just say yes. And so we take our all-in gift set, which is sauces and rubs, every one of them, and then we partner that with a gift card. It's $150 gift card.
Perfect.
And then it becomes the thing that they can use, whether it's a contest prize, a raffle item, a silent auction thing. So people just go to the website and there's a form to fill out and you select which store you're going to come pick it up. We just need a 501c3 and that's done.
Easy peasy.
So we helped over 300 organizations last year just doing that.
That's huge.
So it's a better way to manage a lot of those things and touch so many more people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would imagine maybe that played a part in you won an award in 2024, right? The Restaurateur?
Yes.
It's a hard word to say.
Yeah, Restaurateur, yes.
I want to put an N in there, but I don't think there's even an N in there, which is so funny. Yeah, how did that come about and what did that mean to you?
Well,
congratulations.
Thank you. It was an extremely poignant thing for me because I had always imagined Rob winning that. And so it was It really took me by surprise. I remember they announced it in November, and I walked into the room of people, and they shouted surprise. And there had to be at least 50 people in that room, and I look around, and it's everybody from my kids and my parents and business people, and it just shocked me. And I literally, there was a video, and I laugh when I see it, because I spun and walked out of the room because I was like,
what is happening right now? Yeah.
And then you think, what did I forget?
Of course. It's like the Oscars, right? Or something where they're like, oh, you're put on the spot trying to remember.
And I really didn't. It was so unexpected. And but I think it kind of gave me a little bit of confidence that I am running these restaurants, and I am capable of leading them, and I am making an impact that I want to do. That's my goal.
I love that. I also saw that you guys received the Kansas City BBQ Society Carolyn Wells Ambassador Award.
Yes.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
But also equally fun to hear about. What is that like? How do you go about getting involved with winning that award, and what do you do with it? That's so exciting.
Again, it was another surprise. I have relished our competition heritage, and so I am constantly looking for ways to promote Kansas City BBQ Society as, if you just want to get in backyard grilling and learning more about smoking, they're a fun way to do that.
Yeah.
And then supporting them with all their judges classes, and then even our managers, we highly encourage them to attend these judging classes so they understand what it takes.
Well, I bet it would be fun anyway. So
that's, I think and Carolyn Wells, I know her. She is one of the original founders of Kansas City BBQ Society. And so it was really, I'm just glad that we can bring more people in, or just shout out to them and recognize them, who they are, because it is quite an amazing, big organization.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, great. We'll get into some fun rapid fire questions.
Okay.
This has been so fun to talk about. And I feel like I told you before that we could talk for hours and hours. But before we get into rapid fire, when you think of Q39 and what sets you guys apart as your own unique experience for people, whether local or coming in from Argentina or wherever, what do you want people to think of when Q39 comes to mind? When they walk away, when they're away from the restaurant and it pops into their mind because they're craving it? Like, what do you want people to kind of think about with the Q39 brand, with you at the helm, and what you guys are creating here?
I think I want people to walk away feeling good about their experience, not just from the food they ate, but that they were happy and welcome, and they enjoyed. And there's an old Maya Angelou quote that, and I think Will Guidara uses this, and it's people won't remember what you say or did, but they will remember how you made them feel.
One of my favorite quotes, because it is just so obvious that is something that's so important, I think, in our lives. I teach my kids that. Yeah, I love that.
And so as we grow and get busy, how do we, again, slow down and take time to make people feel welcome and enjoy their experience?
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And anything else you want to share about what you guys are doing, what you're creating, what you're serving, what you're doing as the leader, that we haven't covered already?
Right. Wow. Well, I really appreciate this opportunity. Yeah. I honestly am super focused right now on we're doubling the size of the company, opening 2 more stores in 6 months, in less than 6 months. So our team is all hands on deck, focusing, making those successful.
Okay, great. All right. So let's get into some fun rapid fire questions here. Are you more a burnt ends or brisket kind of gal?
Burnt ends.
Burnt ends. Okay. Sauce on the side or smothered on what you're eating?
On the side.
Okay. Most underrated barbecue side?
Cucumber onion salad.
Didn't see that one coming. Okay. Why so?
It is, it's an old family recipe of Rob's, and it's got that vinegarness that really pairs well with the heavier flavors.
That makes sense with that vinegar. Okay. Most controversial barbecue opinion you maybe have heard from somebody? Could be Kansas City related, could be burnt end related. Anything come to mind of something that you're like,
No, I don't think there's any. I love it because there's room for all. I think barbecue represents the diversity that is so important in our culture today. And I think that's what's cool, is because whether it comes from a Latino perspective or American Southwest or even the East Coast with the Carolinas and the vinegar-based stuff, there's so many different cultures that come into play. Yeah. You've got the Asian cultures and all of their amazing things they can do with it. So I love that that's what barbecue is.
There's a place for everybody.
And, you know, you may not like one or the other. Well, just pivot because there's something right there, an alternative.
Yeah, love it. Okay. What's one menu item people sleep on at Q39 if it's not the cucumber thing you just mentioned? Is there something else? People don't necessarily, one menu item that's fantastic that maybe people just kind of bypass a lot.
It's those tacos.
The tacos. Okay,
I
great.
think they're so terrific.
Great answer. Yeah, I'll be getting those when I go back. Okay, what's one word you would use to describe the Kansas City food scene? So beyond barbecue, when people are coming to town or if you're speaking at an event and, you know, I don't think, so for example, I come from Chicago and the food scene there is clearly amazing, but the food scene in Kansas City is divine and incredible. And we love it here. And I think people don't realize that. So kind of on that note, how would you sort of describe?
One word, I would say unexpected.
Okay.
But I think it's because of what you just said.
Yeah.
I think that Kansas City has some kind of arts-based threads in its bones.
Very much so. Yeah.
With the Nelson, with the Performing Arts of the Kaufman Center, we have so much here. I think food, the culinary arts is just an extension of that. And our community really embraces the local restaurateurs and the local flair that people are bringing to the restaurants.
Absolutely. Okay. What is something that's on your Kansas City bucket list right now that you want to do?
One. I am sad to say I have not been to the Truman Museum in years.
Okay.
And it's been redone.
I haven't been either. So maybe you and I can go together.
Yes,
Let's do it because
that.
it's on my list as well. Yeah.
That's it.
Independence?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Who is someone that you would love to see on the podcast here? Someone you would recommend that's related to Kansas City that you think the audience would enjoy hearing from or finding inspiration in?
That's a good question. There's so many interesting people here.
Yeah, we were talking before we started recording of all the stories there are to tell of people here and businesses and individuals and everything. So,
well, rarely is there a wrong one, right? Because again, of that particular thing.
Sure.
I'm going to go out and say a friend of mine, Matt Stewart. And have you met him or know him?
He's coming on.
Oh, there you go.
He and his wife.
I think
that's who I was referring to.
I think their story is just so amazing. And again, people who have walked a very courageous road that they did not choose.
How did you get connected to? Because is he on the news today?
Yes, he has been. He might be going through treatment again right now, but he has been back on since treatments and stuff. So, he actually came with. I had the first annual National Colon Cancer event. I just kind of did it more as a celebration of recognizing Rob and kind of his journey, but we had all the health professionals. We had the Get Your Rear and Gear folks. We had a bunch of people come, and Matt kindly came and spoke to that. Yeah. And at that point in time, and this is just which makes my heart, is like at that point in time, he had negative scans. And negative results, and then that has since obviously changed. And but again, it's like, how do we help people again be courageous? And they're doing so well. To be supportive of them in their journey as that and their family. Yeah, I have a college friend from KU actually who referred them to me. She's like, you need to have them on and tell their story and what they're doing right now. So they will be on. Yeah, actually in a couple of weeks here. What do you love the most about living in Kansas City? Oh, it sounds like such a trite answer, but I love the people. And it's just, it's funny because even from Chicago, we've had people come like, the neighbor waved at me. Like, it's like, I don't even know them. And it's like, that's kind of what we do. Which is funny because I'm like, Midwest, it's still Midwest, but Midwest nice, It's really true, though. I think, like, people will strike up conversations with you in the elevator. You have no idea who they are. But it's just... I think everybody relates to each other on a human level, and I just think that's really special. And again, it sounds like such an easy answer to say, but I think it makes. But it rings true for everybody. I think we're very collaborative as a community here. I think that, and I don't know about the restaurant industry, but I'm sure people are very supportive of each other. And I mean, there's just so much like crossover of people, it seems like, doing partnerships and things to help each other out. So absolutely, I love that. When you're not eating at Q39, where are you eating? And you can't say your house. Well, I do have a chef of my own. Love that. No, it's my boyfriend. So okay. Well, great. Shout out to the boyfriend. Yes, absolutely. Andrew, he is amazing. But so that's a a bonus, right? You don't even
Absolutely. What does he cook, by the way?
Oh,
what's he known for?
Well, he's a classically trained chef as well.
Okay.
Apparently, I like chefs.
You do. I like this though. Yeah.
And they even graduated the same year, and he and Rob were work acquaintances.
Okay. Yeah.
So he does. Right now we eat a lot of rice bowls. I know that sounds silly, but it's just because
I love rice bowls.
We cook rice,
love.
Add protein, add some veg, and you're done. It's easy.
I know, and it feels good. It's like very hearty but healthy. Yeah. It's like the clean eating, but also delicious. So I'm a big fan of that
lots
too.
Of flavors. So yeah, restaurant wise, we have a lot of favorites. I'm gonna a small shout out to our friends Nick and Leslie Gellner. They have the Antler Room in Anjin. They have some fantastic places. And Verbena, I haven't been there in a while. We were just talking with them and how great that experience was.
Yeah.
Again, Kansas City has so many good ones. It depends what you're in the mood for, right?
I know. And I tell people when they're looking for an experience like the Antler Room, I always recommend the Antler Room. It's so good. And we did Anjin, we talked. I love sitting at their bar. I mean, that's what you do. You sit there and you talk to the staff. And that's our favorite thing to do. Or the other guests. We did that too. We sat right next to people and ended up talking to them. And it just makes a memorable experience as well with that.
It does.
Good. Okay. Well, where can people find and follow you, Q39, and any other organization that you would maybe want to
shout out? Thank you. So Q39kc.com, our website. We are on Facebook and Instagram. I kind of have a low profile. I'm kind of not out posting very often.
Totally fair.
So I honestly don't think I could keep up with it. It is, we talked about that before, it can be a lot. So I'm liking and other friends, and I'll post occasionally, but nothing big there. I think if you look at Get Your Rear in Gear and the Colon Cancer Coalition, it's a .org designation, and help join us in April. That would be fantastic.
Yes.
Most importantly, Rob's Reuben, the sandwich that we have every March. I forgot to say that.
That's right. Good.
Rob's Reuben
call.
is, I would say it's probably the best Reuben in the city because it's smoked corned beef. Mm-hmm. It was his favorite sandwich. He would only serve it like right around St. Patrick's Day.
I was going to say, that's kind of ironic. Wait, St. Patrick's Day and Colon Cancer Awareness Month, right?
It's the same.
It lands together.
And that was his favorite sandwich.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, so we march every year. This is the 5th annual year that we're doing this. Okay. We take the proceeds from that sandwich. We donate it back to KU Cancer Center. Specifically for colon cancer.
Okay, great.
Research and treatment.
I love it. Okay, well, awesome. Well, this has been such an honor and a pleasure to have you on. Honestly, you're super impressive. You're so well-spoken. You're doing amazing things. And if you're ever doing any public speaking or anything, let me know. I'll come watch you. And then let's go to the Truman Library together so we can check that off our bucket list.
I would seriously do that.
Let's do it. Awesome. Well, so good to chat with you.
Yes, thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Thank you so much for tuning in and finding inspiration in these incredible stories. If you love what you hear, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, leave a rating, and share the show to help these Kansas City voices reach even more listeners.